Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's dietitian Jacqueline, and today we're talking about one of the biggest challenges when it comes to fat loss, and something that I am constantly talking to people about, and that's really how do we eat more protein while staying in that caloric deficit so that we can burn body fat or reduce body fat and lose weight. And so it sounds a little tricky, and often I hear, especially when I meet with somebody for the first time, I hear, well, I try to cut back a little bit on my protein because I don't want to overeat my calories. No, that's not the jam. That's not it. And I know that it seems counterintuitive or counterproductive, but we really need to be very forward with our protein. And we can do that while staying in a caloric deficit. So if you're trying to burn fat or stay lean, maintain your muscle mass, this video is for you, so stick around. If you're trying to lose fat or lose weight, you probably already know that protein is important for this process. So it not only helps to maintain our muscle mass while we're cutting calories, which is why it's so monumental to when you are in a caloric deficit, because when you're in a caloric deficit, your body doesn't like to be there. So it's going to search for energy wherever it can, and often that comes in the form of breaking down muscle. So by maintaining a certain level of protein, you're slowing down that process. I don't know that you can really prevent it altogether, and anytime we lose weight, there is a little bit of muscle that comes with it, but we want to reduce the amount that goes through that process. But protein helps to also keep us fuller for a longer period of time, which makes it easier for you to stay in your caloric deficit and hopefully not undo all of the work that you're trying to put into it. So if you're feeling like it's really tough to squeeze in enough protein into your day without going over your daily limit, this video is for you. I'm going to try to give you some really just simple tips and ideas around how to prioritize the right types of protein that will give you the most bang for your buck. But first, don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that I can bring you more content on how to reduce your body fat, feel your best, get energized, get healthy, be the best version of you. And please give this video a thumbs up if you find the information helpful. So let's dive in. So number one, prioritize your lean protein sources. I know that's why you're here, but we have to dive into the reason for that. So lean proteins provide the protein that we're looking for, but with less of a caloric load compared to their heavier fat counterparts. Not that you can never have a higher fat protein, but for the purpose of this video, we're really talking about how to maximize the amount of protein while reducing the amount of calories that you have coming in, right? So we're talking about things like chicken, turkey, eggs, egg whites, a Greek yogurt, those kinds of examples. And we're going to really dive in and get a little bit more granular with each one. So if you don't already know, chicken is actually the most widely consumed animal protein in the United States. So odds are you probably are already eating it unless you are following a vegan or vegetarian lifestyle, which is cool. We're going to get into that. But with approximately 18 grams to around 20 grams of protein per 100 grams, I know that sounds like a mouthful, there's only about 100 calories in that amount. So it really is obvious why it's at the top of the list. But it's also a very favorable protein source because it's so versatile. I mean, you can literally make a different chicken dish every day of the month without repeating it, right? So from grilled to baked, sauteing, and adding in lots of vegetables so that you can get a super high protein meal and a very filling meal that's also budget friendly. I have to say, we are in those times. But it really is so, such a wonderful food to include if you are someone that enjoys chicken. One of my favorite ways to enjoy chicken breast, which I know can feel a little monotonous sometimes and can actually dry out, but I'll give you a little hack, is buying a split chicken breast. So that's when the actual breast of the chicken is still on the bone. And that bone actually does help to preserve a lot of that juiciness that we're looking for, hopefully, when we cut into a piece of chicken. It really makes all the difference. Let me know if you've tried them. Let me know if you do buy them, and I think that it'll make a big difference for you. Number two is how I start my day all day, every day. Well, not all day, but every single day. And that's with eggs and egg whites. So the whites really take center stage for high protein and a lower calorie option compared to a whole egg. But I'm not bashing whole eggs. Whole eggs are wonderful, and we're going to talk about them in a minute. But while the whole egg has around 70 calories and 6 grams of protein, for that same 70 calories, about a 5-ounce liquid serving of egg whites contains 14 grams of protein. So it's quite a significant difference. So it's clear that you just get a little bit more bang for your buck by including the egg whites in your diet. I love whole eggs though, because they have a stellar nutritional profile as well. They contain antioxidants like choline and lutein, plus vitamin D and vitamin A, among other important nutrients. So don't, purposely leave them out of your diet. They certainly serve a very valuable role in the diet as well. So one hack that you can implement is, let's say you're someone who's just having around 2 eggs a day. That's giving you around maybe 12 grams of protein. You could do 1 egg and include, let's say, 6 ounces of liquid egg whites, and now you're really upping that protein just in that serving while keeping your calories controlled. Okay, so that's something that I enjoy doing. Other times I'll just simply have an egg white omelet. I love adding a little bit of olive oil just for some flavor, maybe like 1 or 2 teaspoons. So let me know what you think about the eggs and egg whites. I know for sure there's something that I truly enjoy. So number 3 might surprise you, but it's lentils. Yes, lentils. So there was a study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition that found that eating 3/4 of a cup of these types of foods, lentils, beans, chickpeas, things like that, led to a modest weight loss. And so lentils are quite high in fiber and a good source of plant-based protein, which helps you to stay full and satisfied. So you're really getting both components of feeling full in one little tiny food. They also contain great nutrition: iron, magnesium, folic acid, vitamin C, potassium. So all around a really amazing little food. But here's the thing. Not only are they a killer source of fiber, which also helps you to stay fuller on less calories, they have 10 grams of protein for about 100 grams cooked and only about 120 calories. So if you are a vegan or vegetarian friend of mine, then you know that lentils are an absolute must. If you happen to follow me on Instagram, I posted a recipe recently for my lentil soup. If you can't find it for whatever reason, just let me know and I will send you the link. All right, number 4. I can't talk about protein without talking about Greek yogurt, another favorite of mine. And this one is really important because there are so many varieties across the supermarket aisle. If you go into the dairy department in any supermarket, it's going to be dizzying, right? You're going to see Greek yogurts, you're going to see regular yogurts, you're going to see flavored yogurts, plain yogurts, soy-based yogurts, non-soy-based yogurts. It's just all over the place. So what the heck are we looking for? So ideally, I want you to look for something that's around 15 to 16 grams of protein in one of those I think the standard size of a single serve yogurt is 5.3 ounces. And you're going to be in the neighborhood of 120 to 130 calories. So this makes an awesome snack, and it's a great addition to breakfast, especially if you're someone who doesn't love eggs. And I talk to a lot of people who don't love eggs, or just maybe you have an egg allergy. Then a Greek yogurt might be an awesome solution for you. You can add it to oats, let's say, right? Or you can eat it on its own and add some fruit or some nuts to it. But aside from it being an awesome food on its own, it's a great swap for mayonnaise in different recipes. On my website, I have a mayo-free egg salad, for example, if you wanted to incorporate the Greek yogurt. Less calories, more protein, right? You can also use it to create salad dressings, dips, and even ice cream-inspired desserts, which is actually one of my favorite things. When I'm feeling like I need a sweet treat, I'll do a banana and ice cream and mix in a little Greek yogurt. It's so creamy and so delicious and actually healthy, right? So this is really the last thing I eat for the day. I enjoy a Greek yogurt. I add just a few dark chocolate chips. There are so many different brands out there, so it's up to you to find one that you really love. But I always recommend finding one that doesn't have any added sugars, that doesn't have any artificial sweeteners. And if you need to add a little sweetness, add Nature's Dessert, which is fresh fruit. Since we're on the dairy train, let's talk about cottage cheese. So cottage cheese is number 5, and it's an incredibly versatile source of protein, everybody, offering about 13 grams of protein with only 90 calories in a half cup serving. I mean, this is like great food. So you're either team cottage cheese or you're team not cottage cheese. I don't enjoy cottage cheese, I'll be very honest with you, but you can't argue with its nutritional value. And it has become such a go-to option for so many people across social media, right? If you've seen so many different TikTok videos, Instagram videos on people creating higher protein recipes using cottage cheese. We've seen cottage cheese ice cream. I've seen cottage cheese wraps. I've seen cottage cheese chips, right? So it really is a versatile food, but it's a super fantastic high protein snack on its own. So if you're not someone who's into like cottage cheese ice cream, you can eat it on its own or adding fruit like pineapple, which is like a classic combo. And recently, I have to say, I did make the cottage cheese wraps. And yes, I think they live up to the hype. I thought they were so good. So you just kind of like blend it up in a food processor and add whatever seasonings you want. I think I did Everything Bagel seasoning. You put it on a cookie sheet with parchment paper and you bake it for about 30 minutes or so, and it comes out like literally like a wrap. So let me know if you've tried it. I personally like it. But if that's not your thing, you can also just add a dollop of cottage cheese to your omelets, and that creates a really nice, creamy, and delicious protein boost. With so many awesome protein sources in our world, it was hard to decide what number 6 was going to be, but it's canned tuna. I just decided to go with canned tuna. So whether it's canned or in like those little pouches, tuna is a super lean, high protein food with just 70 calories and a whopping 16 grams of protein in one of those tiny little 3-ounce servings. I'm sure you've seen like the little cans and then the bigger 5-ounce cans. So tuna works great for lunches, which I think is obvious. Most people will have like a tuna sandwich or put it over salad, but you could have totally enjoy it as a snack too. I've done that, a little bit of tuna fish with a little bit light mayo, and I had it like, a couple crackers or even celery or something to that effect. But lately, I've been preparing mine with something a little bit different, more like a tuna salad style, I guess. I don't know. I'm not even sure I have a name for it, but I added some diced red onion, a dollop of light mayo, and some avocado, a little salt, and a little red wine vinegar just for acidity. It was so good. I got to tell you, it was delicious. And I had it on half an English muffin. So you could do something like that, and as I'm like talking to you about this, I'm thinking, why did I use light mayo and then avocado? So I think the light mayo was just like a knee-jerk reaction. Like I just needed mayonnaise in this. I think that I could have also done the same thing by using an avocado mayo, which I could have probably killed 2 birds with 1 stone. So I might try that next time. I'll let you know. So the last thing I want to talk to you about is, how do we put this into play? How do we implement it? Clearly you want to and need to eat other foods and still maintain your caloric deficit. So first and foremost, you want to utilize volume eating techniques. What the heck is volume eating? We have to do a whole separate video on volume eating, but one way that you can think about it is by adding in lots of low calorie foods to add volume to your meals, by including more vegetables. So when we add more vegetables to our meals, then we are creating a more volume, fiber forward meal that helps you to stay fuller with lower calories, right? There's a big difference between having, and I'm just going to use like pasta as an example, since it's such a common food. It's quite different to have a, half a cup of pasta on your plate versus having a half a cup of pasta that also has maybe zucchini noodles mixed in or broccoli and then diced up chicken or shrimp. Right now, that meal becomes much bigger, but you're not really augmenting those calories all that much, okay? So that's the mindset behind volume eating. Next, you want to be mindful around distributing your protein throughout the day versus waiting for the end of the day and then realizing like, oh my God, I didn't eat enough protein today. So while everyone's needs are different, and always remember that everyone's needs are different, but a rule of thumb that I like to give people is to aim around for 25 to 30 grams of protein at each meal. And you will need to adjust based on your own body weight and your activity level, of course, but you'll also need to consider adding in some protein from snacks. And snacks can be edamame, it could be a hard-boiled egg, some lean jerky, or even a protein shake. But don't wait until the end of the day to realize, holy cow, I need 30 grams of protein and where am I going to get it? So now you're kind of backpedaling or you're overeating in order to compensate for that lack. And so for that reason, I recommend tracking your protein intake. Use a food tracking app to ensure you're meeting your protein goals while staying within your calorie limits. So food tracking is really a great way to not only stay accountable to yourself, but also to help you make better choices and allows you to adjust portions as you go. And last but not least, be smart about your cooking habits, right? So stick to grilling, baking, roasting, even steaming is okay. I know it's not as exciting, but there are certain things that are lovely steamed. And this will help you to also try to maintain the integrity of your diet by prioritizing that protein and the nutrition without adding a lot of calories from excess fats, especially if you're someone that's used to frying or cooking with a lot of oil and you're not really quantifying the amount of oil that you're using in your cooking. So there we have it, folks. Some easy high protein solutions while maintaining a caloric deficit, helping to support fat loss while preserving muscle and leading to better body composition and overall health. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more tips on nutrition and healthy living. And let me know in the comments, what's your go-to protein meal? I'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.